Oh, of course, I'd agree with this decision. This should have been done months ago. This is something that should have been done by President Barack Obama, either before the election, after that fateful press conference that James Comey had on July 5, but at a minimum, it should have been done after the election and given the new president, the latitude to select someone new for the FBI. This is the right timing. What the president did is he gave James Comey a little bit of leeway, but he also gave himself a little bit of leeway in terms of saying, I'm going to let the Justice Department, the new Attorney General, his deputy, they're going to decide what the future is of James Comey, because they're going to have to live with the director of the FBI. They reached the conclusion that they needed a new director. And this is consistent with how this president is approaching his different cabinet officers. Take a look at what he's doing with the military in Afghanistan. He's saying, you set the strategy. Tell me how many people you need. I'll review it. But once I approve a direction, you decide where to bomb, where to attack, and those kinds of things. I'm not going to micromanage. He's doing the same thing here with the Justice Department. It's exactly what you would expect a CEO to do, set a direction, and then let his people implement.
Alan, now you recently said Comey should have been fired because he lost credibility. But you actually, not fired isn't the word, but you actually said resigned. That's and right. That it was bad timing for President Trump to let him go now. Can you explain why?
Yeah, look, the first casualty of any crisis like this is nuance. The world is divided into people who unequivocally condemn what the president did and others who enthusiastically support what he did. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think that Comey should not have been the head of the FBI. I think he should have resigned, and if he didn't resign, probably should have been fired. But I don't think he should have been fired at this time by this president, whose White House staff is under investigation by Comey. It creates the appearance, not the reality, but the appearance of a conflict of interest. Having said that, that's the past. Reasonable people could disagree about that. I want to focus on the future. He can redeem himself. The president can turn this into a win-win if he picks an even more qualified person than Comey to take the job, an even tougher, a person who's committed to the truth coming out. He really has to pick somebody who satisfies all those criteria, somebody who not a single person in the Senate or the House can say, oh my God, he's picked a crony, he's picked a friend, somebody who satisfies completely the American public's need to know that this is an investigation that's going to go forward. And the investigation should be not only of the alleged connection between the campaign and the Russians, but also the leaks. Who was leaking this kind of information. It should be a thorough and full investigation. It should also require the appointment not of a special prosecutor, because there's no probable cause yet for believing a crime was committed, but a special investigative agency, much like 9/11, consisting of bipartisan or even better, nonpartisan people who can get to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So the ball is now in the president's court. Whether you think he did the right thing or the wrong thing, I think everyone will agree, and I hope the congressman will agree, that he now would serve the public interest by picking somebody who is above any kind of reproach.